Holocaust means total burning in Greek. The Jews call it Shoah, or catastrophe. The Nazis killed 6 million Jews during the Second World War. These people had families and friends. They were ordinary people who had their lives taken away. It seemed that only a miracle could save the Jewish people from complete annihilation, and the miracle really occurred. The wars between Athens and Sparta, they ended. They do not exist anymore. However, fascists exist. It's useless to fight this, but we can resist it. The Holocaust is a Jewish tragedy, but not a Jewish problem. It's a universal problem. Every Jew who survived the war was a miracle. When we understand that the threat of the great victory being forgotten is not outside our country, but next to us, and we are responsible for talking about this with teachers and the public, then we can achieve a lot. If not for the Red Army, not a single Jew would have remained in Europe. In this regard, in Russia, it was an initiative of German Zakharyayev to break through worldwide bureaucracy and to introduce the national holiday into the Jewish calendar. It was heard and accepted. "70 years after the end of the Second World War, Nazism is reviving in some European countries. The atrocities of the Nazis are glorified and history is being rewritten in general. Nazism is like a perennial weed that is hard to fight." How can you persuade a fascist not to be one? There is no reason to shoot him. Even after the war, there was no reason. A huge number of people who participated in mass executions received only a short prison sentence after the war. How not to reconsider the results of the Second World War? Europeans are fed up with the Holocaust. It's not pleasant. How many times can you remind a person that he lives in a house that does not belong to him, that he earned money simply by taking it away from the Jews? Maybe he is a descendant of the executioners without any morality. There are people and organizations that have been in the neo-Nazi field for a long time. They organize marches. They are next to us. These people draw swastikas on the monuments of Jews that we establish in the Russian cities. If not that, they raise their hands in Nazi salutes. They are near us. There are organizations in Europe who are nostalgic for the times when there were Nazis and when there was order. They think we should go back there. The Holocaust was the worst tragedy of the 20th century. During the war, the Nazis killed 6 million Jews. Many died in the gas chambers of Auschwitz, Buchenwald, Dachau, Ravensbrück, Sobibor, in the execution ditches of Babi Yar and Zmievskaya Gully, and other places. This was a terrible peak of human baseness. Never before had man come to that. There had never been an industry of death. It had never been legally approved, as was done in Germany at the Wannsee Conference, where the final solution of the Jewish issue was approved. In other words, they decided to kill everyone. More than 6 million Jews died during the Holocaust. Even thinking about this figure is terrifying. It's clear that 6 million is an inaccurate figure. It could be 6.5 or more. These numbers are impossible to comprehend. A civilized European nation mechanized and gasified this process. It did everything it could to put on the stream with clear reporting. This most likely surprised Europeans and still surprises them. But they try not to talk about it. They try to say this was not the case. Well, the number was lower than 6 million, maybe 100,000. What gas chambers are you talking about? This is a Jewish myth. The Nazi doctrine is hate towards people of a different nationality. An evil ideology of the superiority of the Aryans, as they call themselves, over others, above all, Jews, whom they denied the right to life. Millions of people of different nationalities became victims of the Nazis during the Second World War. It seemed that these crimes were impossible to question, but recently, people are increasingly trying to justify these atrocities. If this is not resisted, then in a few generations, a new Hitler will appear who will proclaim a new final solution to the Jewish issue. The training of teachers is our task, so that young people do not just know about this, but become interested in why it happened with one nation, but it could happen with any other. What is Nazi ideology? We defeated Nazi Germany, but a lot of Nazi ideas, for example, the superiority of one people, the search for an enemy, have remained and have never left our lives. No one owes anything to anyone. No one is interested in anything as long as it does not affect him or her. Justice in this world exists for no one. The fact that the word Holocaust is known to mankind is something Jews achieved, as they say about us, by being boring, by speaking seriously, by persistence. After the war, no one was interested in the Holocaust, and the fate of the Jews was not a burning issue. We were not considered unique. Even in the ghetto, in inhuman conditions, the Jews did not lose hope and believed that the Almighty would not abandon his people, and indeed, by divine providence and by the strength of the Red Army and the armies of the Allied countries, on the 9th of May, 1945, or on the 26th of Iyar, 5705, according to the Jewish calendar, the Jewish people were saved and liberated. On the 26th of Iyar, Jews remember not only the victims of the Holocaust, but also the soldiers of the Red Army and the armies of the Allies who saved the Jewish people from the Nazi beast. On the initiative of German Zakharyayev, the 26th of Iyar became a new date in the Jewish religious calendar and was named Day of Salvation and Liberation. This day became our salvation from inevitable death and our liberation from the villainous plan of total destruction. Our task is not to let the horrors of fascism be forgotten, to prevent a repetition of this, and to be grateful to those who helped us to survive. When German Zakharyayev came to me and told me about this idea, I was delighted and blessed him. I said I supported it. We say, better late than never. For 70 years, we have been waiting for this date to appear in the Hebrew calendar so that we can celebrate in accordance with our traditions. The 26th of Iyar is the Jewish date for Victory Day, since the 8th and 9th of May, 1945, fell on the 26th of Iyar according to our calendar. We must celebrate this holiday on this day. Every Jew should use the Jewish calendar. Memories usually go away after several generations. We see that this applies to both patriotic war of 1812 and the First World War. Memorials are created, but all the same, the memories disappear. The Jewish religion has a future. Thousands of years will pass, and people will still remember this because it is remembered in the synagogues. Victory Day was included in the list of events that will remain forever. As long as this religion and these people are alive. Saving the Jews from the Nazis was a great miracle. We are grateful to the Red Army for the salvation of our people. Through them, God performed this miracle. Our gratitude is immeasurable. Each person has his own mission. German Zakhariev, president of the Mountain Jews Foundation Stemegi and vice president of the Russian Jewish Congress, is the initiator and ideological inspirer of a new date in the Jewish calendar. He has warned us of all the complexities of this huge and difficult task. Despite everything, he managed to unite all Jewish communities to reach agreement in Jewish religious world and to convince everyone of the importance and necessity of the 26th of Iyar. When we met German Zakhariev, I saw the person who really initiated this project. He told us about his family history and about his father who reached Berlin. This idea was great, but crazy. He wanted to add a new date for the entire Jewish nation to celebrate. But when I saw people's reaction, I realized that this idea was sufficiently relevant and was, in fact, right on time. I warned him that to implement this idea and involve the entire Jewish people in it was a very huge task and a very difficult task. And that is really the case. The Lord chose him exactly for this purpose. Why did God choose Moses to lead the Jews out of Egypt, or David to create a state? Why them? And why not their neighbors? Maybe their neighbors were stronger. So why? It just happened. In this case, German Rashbilovich was the person who invented it, and not just invented. You never know who is able to realize his ideas. A thought can arise in 100 people at the same time. However, 99 will forget about it. Whoever catches on to it is called an ideological fanatic. Zakhariev realized that it needed to be done, and it was important. According to Jewish tradition, if a holiday is not defined in the Torah, then it must be associated with divine intervention. On the 9th of May, 1945, or 26th of Iyar, 5705, such a miracle happened. The day of salvation and liberation will forever remain in the ages alongside the Passover and Purim. It was the 9th of May or 26th of Iyar that marked a turning point in the Jewish history. Thanks to this day, the Jews were not only saved from complete annihilation, but also found their national home, the State of Israel. Today, Jews around the world are celebrating a new date, Day of Salvation and Liberation. I think that the initiative of German Rashbilovich is very important. In fact, this is an attempt by Russian Jewry to participate in the world Jewish life. We contribute to Jewish identity, Jewish tradition, and the Jewish calendar. Each new initiative is noble, especially if it is gratitude to God for the miracles He has done for us. It is very good to use one more day for this. Therefore, it is clear that the 9th of May is Victory Day, including for our people, and no one is going to cancel it. The fact that we celebrate it according to the Jewish calendar is also good. This is, if you will, the providence of God. After all, he had no serious opponents. There should have been some, but there weren't. There were no opponents among the rabbis and politicians in Israel and the West. We can say that this was a small Jewish miracle. This is a great mission. He has a sense of the importance of this. He brought this initiative forward, and the Jewish people must now understand it. It's about eternity. Victory Day has become eternal. I think not only Jews are grateful to Girman Zakharyayev. Today, Jews around the world are celebrating a new date, the day of salvation and liberation. And we believe that Jews will always remember it.